Hi all, my name is Darina. I am lead level designer and game economy designer in Room 8 Studio, game development company based in Kiev, Ukraine. For last year, I was involved in more than 20 different projects. For now, I'm working with 4 big Match-3 projects. My point of pride is Meow Match, the wonderful Match-3 game. It was created by Ember Entertainment. They involved with me in the process a year ago, and for now I am proud to show you this perfect cat. I love it. Today I want to share with you all my experience, the knowledge database that I have gathered for all this time. Just to clarify, I will talk just about a casual Match-3 games. Top 2 games and swipe games use the same rules, but not about RPG Match-3 games. If you need to talk about RPG Match-3 games, please contact me after this lecture. For now, after the success of King, the number of released Match-3 games growing everywhere. You can see this on this chart, the timeline, and every month we have a new project connected with Match-3 games. What does it mean? It means that the market is overheated. Each user, each player can find something special that he needs on our market. Also, we have a few big leaders. This is a King. They don't leave the top grossing charts for 4 last years. Also, we have a Playrix with 3 products like Homescapes, Gardenscape, and Fishdom. And we have a new player on this market, is a Pig game with a Toon Blast and Toy Blast. But is the market really glutted? Do we have a possibility of the growth? Look at this chart. This is the approximate revenue for last 3 years. And the trend line showing us that the market is growing. We have a possibility to grow. We have a possibility to create a new product and involve new players. But as the market has a few big leaders, the market seems like monopolistically competitive. What does it mean? It means that we have a few entries barrier to the market. We need to increase the quality of our product because the customers doesn't think about the prices, they just think about the quality of the product. I don't care how many money costs the 5 more moves in Gardenscape if I play in Candy Crush, yeah? But I am cared about the cats, or about the environment, or about the narrative, something special that creates your game unique. How to win? I want to share with you the few steps that you need to know to win in this competition. At first, let's talk about the action phase. Think first about the key game mechanics. It's really important for you to create your game unique for each player. Next is the level editor, is of essence for level designers. Will it be separated for dev build, or will it be the part of dev build? What devices are needed for level designers? iPads, iPhones, or personal computers? Can we use a freelancer as an option? Do we need a service support or something else? The next point is the difficulty curve. Difficulty curve, it's all about your main KPIs. Will your project be a long term, or you just need a fast money? It's all in the difficulty curve. Level design is matter because each level is really matter. I've been witnesses when one level we change in A/B test, one level, and it creates plus 2% of day 1 retention. It's really wonderful for one of the first levels. New mechanics, it's a plan. How many new mechanics do you need in 1 month? New mechanic is the work for dev, the work for art, the work for level designers. You need to plan and estimate the frequency of occurrence, the new mechanics. And also you need to think about the type of dynamic difficulty system. It's a new world in Match-3 games. Remember, the player will quit off if he will lose more than 6 times on one level. So you need to avoid this stacking. So I want to speak about each this point a little bit detailed. At first, it's a key game mechanic. On the first chart, you can see the game progress, the player progressed on the game with no additional mechanic. So the players start to gather the goal, gather it faster, but it's really hard to control the player progress. When we use the key game mechanic on the central stage, the player have a boost. He reach the goal much more faster. So we can control the player progress. On the left chart, if we decrease the number of moves on 2, the player will reach just 50% of the goal. It's not good for a player. He don't want to play in the game when he understands that, wow, it's impossible to reach this goal. With key game mechanic, the player reach this goal faster and we can control its progress. The next is the difficulty curve. For now, this is a big war between retention and conversion. And retention win for now. You need to think about the simplifies the first 25 to 400 levels and don't think about monetization on the first earlier gameplay. The number of these simplest levels depends on the game type because the top 2 games are much more faster than Match-3 games. So in Match-3 games we create a skill walls much more earlier than in top 2 games. The difficulty curve has a standard saw shape with irregular teeth. The player is moving up and down on this difficulty curve and feel all the spectrum of emotions that he needs. Wow, it was so simple. Ooh, what? This is a rich level. I hate this level. I will pay to pass this level. The next is a balance spreadsheet, and I create a perfect balance spreadsheet as for me. I include in balance spreadsheet everything that I can to count every player behavior. I add a list of mechanics that need used on each level, an educational curve, a difficulty rate, psychological rates of fun and difficulty, because I know what mechanics are fun for a player and what mechanics are difficult for a player. For example, there is a mechanic that is really hard for a player. It's a growing mechanic when some element is growing on the field. And the field becomes smaller for a player and they hate this mechanic and they can quit. So what you need? You need to create a simple levels with this mechanic. Simple level and add few fun mechanic on this level. So the player will not be so raged with this mechanic. He will love this level in future. Also I combine this balance spreadsheet with monetization, with metagame. I calculate the revenue of the player, the possible costs, the bonuses, etc. And I create a model of player behavior to count everything that the player can make in our game. The next is level design. As a lead level designer, I can speak about level design for hours. These all are examples of my own levels. I really love to do an educational levels, visualization levels. As you can see, we have a fish, we have a dog, we have a some kind of flower, a cat paw. I like to create such levels because players love such levels. I think that the level design based on 6 main pillars. The first pillar is idea. Each my level has an idea, a special idea. Will it be a reward level so the player can feel the rewarding feelings? Or will it be a frustrating level? The player just need to move this level and go over. The idea is something that creates your level special, not the game, but the level. The next pillar is education. Do I need to explain about the education to the people who live in a time of all type coaches? We like to educate. We like to learn something. This is the dopamine. This is something that is inside of us. So the education is really important, and I try to create levels that educate my players. Exploration. One of the best and fun mechanics of Match-3 games is hidden object. Players love to find hidden objects. They like to explore something on our levels. Visual harmony is a point about the symmetry and the color scheme. I don't think that there are a lot of people who like orange and purple combination, so we need to think what colors to combine. And also, we like symmetry faces, we like symmetry levels. Think about this. Level types. There are a lot of types of the level. Wow effect levels, full effect levels, tutorial levels, skill levels that the player need to solve some problem on the level. And to create the most wonderful feeling for our players, I combine these types of the level on one level. But I don't like to give one type of the level one by another on the player difficulty curve. So if it will be a reward level, the next will be a skill level. If it will be a skill level, the next will be a reward. But no 2 skill levels one by one. It increases the churn rate. And also the lucky chance. Players love to feel lucky. They love to play and win on last move. And it's really hard to create the levels that all players, skilled, unskilled, women, men, will win on the last move. But when they win, they feel lucky. It's really retention mechanic. The new mechanics. Here on the chart you can see the top grossing titles and the number of new elements which are introduced on first 200 levels. For now, I knew the secret number. You need to add 1 new mech on each 50 levels after the 200. Before, you need to add much more, because on the first 20 levels we can add like 10 new mechanics, because it will be hard to diversify our game on different types, with different type of the levels for our player. So this all was about action phase. Let's talk about metagame. There are 2 main types of metagames. The first is Saga map, and the second is construction. And after the success of Gardenscape, the construction is the main trend for now. Each day I see a new game with the construction metagame. I need to renovate the building, renovate the garden, put some benches on the garden or something else. We need to find something else, or maybe we have already an example that found something new for our players. Let's talk about events. I divide all events on retentional events and conversion events or monetization events. Retention events are really simple. We need to prolongate the session time of the player. We need to increase the interest and we need to create a habit for a player. On this chart, you can see my own experience in Match. We had a lucky event on 1st May. And our retention, this is a chart of day 1 retention, and our retention increased in 1.5 times. It was really wonderful. We just add one event. What can we do when we add more retention events? Another type of events are monetization events. I work with leaderboards, it's for achievers, sales, bundle packs, and I also like to use events with fear of loss. The player don't like to lose anything that they have already got. So on this chart you can see the average revenue per daily active user, and at the 28th of June, we had a leaderboard event and we increased the average revenue per daily active user in 2 times in 1 month. The player love achieve something and they love the leaderboard events. I told before that the dynamic game difficulty balancing system is needed for action phase, but it also is needed for meta game. We collect the data of player behaviors, we collect every move of our each players. We know that this player like to play in a leaderboard event, or this player really like to play in a holiday event. So we give the player what he needs. If he don't like to play in a leaderboard event, we avoid the leaderboard event. We don't mention this player that there is a leaderboard event, and this increases the retention. And also the future of such dynamic game difficulty balancing system is machine learning. We just start to work in this way, but we trying to create a semi-automatic system that performs different actions and test, learn, and execute the most effective strategy for reaching target KPIs. So, the next thing that you need to think is about live ops. For live ops, you need 300 levels as a minimum, because I have a player who reached 200 levels in 1 week, and we say, what? Ooh, he spent a little bit money. Next, we need to add new content each week. Please, each new content each week. No 200 levels in next month. It's don't retain the player. The player needs new content each week. Next, what you need to think about, it's about data tracking. We tracked every move. First time user experience, what was his actions on our screen, where did he tap on the screen. We track everything. We need to make a data analysis. We need to fast response on all errors that we had, and I think that the wonderful method is A/B test. We use A/B test everywhere where we can. And see this huge word. This influence is also so huge as huge is this word. You need to think about the traffic, the type of the traffic. And after all this, you can win the competition as we win with our Match project. Thank you very much. You're a really good listener.
Okay. Do you think, so you said that the market is sort of oversaturated by a lot of these Match-3 games. So, what do you think is sort of the next step? So, do we make a twist on Match-3 games, and that's the new thing, or do we like leave them in the dust completely and start on something completely new?
I think that we won't leave the Match-3 games for 2-3 years because it will be profitable for us with our good products. 2-3 years at least, it's normal for us. But after 3 years, I think that we need to create something more excited for players.
And do you think it's going to be also let's say, a puzzle type such as Match-3, or is it going to be something completely
Yes.
different?
No, it wouldn't be something completely different because it's like frustrating games. The players love to spend their time and they don't need to think about something when they are playing in Match-3 game. They can think about some problems or some work stuff when they are playing in Match-3 game.
So this dynamic difficulty machine learning based system you mentioned, did you A/B test that?
We don't A/B test it because it's like we have implemented that and seen that it showed the much more better results that we had before. So it's already a A/B test for us. So we use it without A/B test. We just know that it showed the better results.
And how much better was it, roughly?
At the first step, we decreased the fall rate for 3% each level. For each level, because it was really hard when you create a new game and the players start playing your levels and they stuck. Why? Because you think that they are so skilled as you, but they are not.
Yeah, okay. And did you see like uplift in retention, also longer term retention levels?
In long-term retention, also we have increase in day 28 retention in 1.5%.
Okay, thank you.
It's wonderful. I think that everyone needs to use this dynamic difficulty system.
Okay, thank you very much, Darina.
Thank
Please,
you.
a big round of applause.